Hi, this is Alan with 4A'S Race Loft with a update on the first two races. Our first race from Easterly. As you can see, it's northeast. My loft is over here on the left-hand side. The person who won it's down in the bottom, which is Gene, just to give you an illustration of what the front looks like. The miles that you see on there are not correct. I will bring it up on the race results, but it at least tells you how the birds had to travel to come back. So easterly, the birds went up at 8:45 a.m. It was sunny. There was 197 birds, 7 lofts. Winds were west-southwest at 5. So it was actually pushing the birds to the northeast, and the temperatures were 54 degrees. So you can see the results. Gene won the race. At arrival, winds were west-northwest, which were pushing the birds southeast at 9 miles an hour at 66 degrees. So if you think about it, during the whole race, the birds were either pushed to the northeast or the southeast, which made it very hard for myself and Eric, who are on the west, to actually get birds. So congratulations to Gene. He was at 80 miles. He clocked his first bird at 10:31 at 1,333 yards per minute. And then Sam, Virgil, also had 4th and 5th. Ray came in at 6th, Gene had 7th, and also 8th. But look, I actually clocked 9th, and I'm very happy with that. I was just trying to get birds in the top 50, and I actually did better. And being so far on the west side, I'm very happy because the birds basically had to fight a wind that was on their left shoulder, constantly trying to push them to the northeast or the southeast, so they had to fight all the way across. My birds' average speed was 1,241. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It was 1,241 yards per minute. Sorry, I had 4 birds that was actually on the drop, and I was 9 minutes and 49 seconds behind Gene. My first bird, as you can see, was 9th, and I also had 9th, 10th, 12th, 13th, and 19th. So I had 5 birds that was in the top 10%. The first bird that clocked for me 9th was a bird that I received from Frank. And then the 2 other birds that clocked on that drop, 2385 and 2380, 12th and 13th, were birds that I hatched out here from Frank McLaughlin birds that I got from him back in, was it May? Because they hatched in late May or early June. So I'm very pleased, and at least I have an idea of those birds would potentially do well on our race course. But also in the top 20, I had some additional birds, top 20%. I had 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and also 34th. So I had 10 birds in the top 20%, which I'm very pleased with. So can't complain about that at all. There was a short video on the arrival of those birds from that race. Didn't last long. And then our second race that we had was from Jewett. My loft is actually in the bottom left, and above me, Eric's loft was up top. If I'm correct, the race was about 115 miles for me. You will see that shortly. Birds went up at 7:15 a.m. It was overcast. Winds were southeast at 3. Basically, after that, they turned pure south, which was a southerly wind, which again was pushing the birds north on their left side. So they had to fight to get back. There was 128 birds, seven lofts again. Let's go to results. I actually had the first 3 birds in. I had 3 birds in on the drop. Very excited, very pleased. Did not expect that to happen at all. On arrival, it was cloudy. Winds were south-southwest, which was pushing them northeast. At 10, we had gusts closer to 20 miles an hour, and it was 71 degrees. What can I say? The first and the third bird again was birds that was hatched here from Frank McLaughlin's birds. The second bird that clocked was a bird that I received from Osmani, so thank you for that. Eric actually took 4th at 108 miles. I was 115, and the reason why I was showing that was that you can see the difference in the fronts when the birds were getting pushed. You can actually tell where they had to come in. So I was first to clock out of the club at the farthest mileage, if I'm correct. Eric was second. So had great results. Very pleased with that. Actually, very excited to be very truthful. My birds are clocked at 1,176 yards per minute. Eric did at 1,122 yards per minute, but he was 7 minutes and 49 seconds behind. So on this race, I had the first, the second, the third, the 5th, and the 10th bird. So I had 6 birds in the top 10%. But I also had some other birds that made the top 20%. So 17th, 18th, 19th, and 24th. So it gave me 10 birds and a top 20%. So I'm very pleased with that. So it was a good race. It was a good race. Hey, buddy. I knew he was going to photobomb me. Sorry, y'all. It was a good race, but I'm not very pleased because I lost 5 birds.
Hi.
Okay. I had lost 5 birds. After the first race, I pulled my clock early, and I still had birds out. I had some birds that came back late. When I went to ship birds for the second race, I ended up putting 35 in the clock. I had 37 that I started with. Let me finish, man. 37 that I started with. 37 birds that I started with. I moved 2 over. So I left 35. They were late. Birds that came in, I shouldn't have sent them on a race. I was rushing and trying to get to the club, get birds shipped out, and it was a mistake, and I've lost 5 birds because of it, so I'm not happy about it. The next race, I will not send all birds. What I realized, a lot of birds were missing the 9th and 10th flight.
Good morning.
It's not morning, man, but okay. The 9th and 10th flight, so I will not do that again. I'm not sure how many I will send on the 150-mile race, but I would definitely try my best to get as many as I can. I did shoot a video, but the quality came out poor. It was a different camera. It was shaky, didn't have stabilization, so I will go back to the GoPro. I will try to find another option that is going to allow me to create better videos. So, Avi, you want to say, give us a thumbs up?
Find out.
Show me your thumb. Give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Thank you again. We had a great race. The second race, we were able to take the first 3 spots. Like, subscribe,
Bye.
and share. Bye.